Hey guys, Bryant and Dan back in the Rock Life studio for our finals review for the National Rock Racing Association, round number 10. I'm back in the Rock Life studio. Dan Carter.
How's it going?
Man, what a weekend we had in over at Wildcat Offroad Park. We'll get right to that in just a minute. I do want to say, for you guys watching on YouTube, sorry about last week. Somebody forgot to hit the upload button. That was me. And we're also a day late because technology is not my friend and everything broke yesterday. But we got it fixed and we're a day late and we're back and on track. Don't forget, guys, if you've not checked out that membership package that we have on the YouTube channel, please do that. There's two different levels. One will get you early access to videos, exclusive videos, 30% off at Rock Life Off-Road for Out the Top and Rock Life Off-Road Dan Carter merch. The other one gets you even more video stuff, some shout-outs in videos, and you'll be privy to some 50% off merch codes that are going to be available on there every month. And so let's just use this. We've got our brand new Team Rock Life hoodies. Just dropped last week. They're $50, 50% off. That's $25. The membership's only $9. Just do it. Just do it.
Hell of a deal.
Hell of a deal. All right. So let's get into our weekend at Wildcat Off-Road Park in East Bernstadt, Kentucky. I'll tell you what, let's start. Let's just go ahead and get through, Dan, let's get through your weekend, what you thought of your runs. Kind of walk us through that. I don't know how you do it, however you want to do it. You can do stock and then go back and talk about cup, or you can do it by day, whatever you want to do. Just kind of, how do you feel about the courses, the event, your runs in particular?
I basically have got to quit running so many classes. There's so many courses, especially at finals, that we've got to memorize. And man, I don't remember, like everything's kind of running together because this really didn't feel like finals. We're at Wildcat, which is a first for us to have finals. So it just felt like a really big, long race. But I enjoyed it. Trying to think back, it was, I think it was in stock class on the first day. And we were in such a rush to get everything over there, get everything kind of looked at, to see what the courses were going to be, kind of walk over everything. Of course, we missed a few races, so it was great to see everybody. Had fun catching up with everybody on the hill. I was trying to look at the courses, got tied up talking to everybody, so I looked at them the best I could. And then we get ready to line up. I look down, fuel gauge on the full body for the stock class is flashing that it's low in fuel.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, we're only running one hill today, possibly two. This will be enough to get me through the day. Round one, I heard something kind of clicking about the first 10 or 15 seconds that we got into the course. And come to find out, we broke a driver's side rear axle and was unable to climb the hill. So we got a DNF for the first hill. Clay and Cody Kaysen jumped in, helped to swap that axle out, and had us ready for the next round. We didn't even know we were going to be able to run 2 rounds that day, but we finished up fairly quickly. And I'll tell you, by the time I got the jack back over there, those guys already swapped that axle out. So, I mean, it was great that everybody kind of just jumped in to help out on the full body for the first day. So we did actually get a second run that day, and I guess I came in a little bit too hot, and I missed my turn just a little bit, and it threw me further down the hill than what I was anticipating. And we pulled off a nice little 2.5 flip barrel roll, landed on the tires, kind of showed out for the crowd, and never took her out of gear. Just kept on going. So it looked like it was all part of the show, I guess. Um, we ended up DNF on the first hill, which kind of threw us back in the pack, and then we were able to finish. But we had the little sightseeing tour that we went on for Hill Two, and that kind of put us in the back. I think we still ended up with top 10 finish uh, for Thursday. Then went into Friday. We finished up the stock class, and we had two decent solid runs for the stock class. But after, kind of after the tumble, I just wanted to kind of take things slow and just focus on finishing. So for the stock class, I think we wound up maybe like eighth or ninth place for the weekend. So I'm not going to complain about that. We're able to drive it and get it on the trailer without any help. So the cup class, like I said, all this is running together. I'm thinking that we did one round for the cup class on Thursday.
One Thursday, two Friday, and one Saturday, I think.
Right. So we had it mixed up over the whole weekend. But I'm trying to remember what runs I did what. I know
Mm,
that I know that Friday I think was the day that we come a little bit too hard off the jump. And that
um, yeah, that was Friday for sure.
yeah, but on Thursday though, I do remember just having a decent solid finish. Um
Yeah, you had
I
you had four pretty good finishes. You had, I think Thursday. Yeah, the first run you had a little backup that cost us some
yeah,
time, and and then on
yeah,
one of the runs, I can't remember what day it was. I think it was Friday. You had one that we kind of
I'm
overshot a
glad it's
turn.
not me, man. I'm glad it's not me.
Oh,
It just runs so together. I do remember missing. Uh, so that's right. On the first hill, I came
well,
around. Everything felt good, and it was going too fast. Like
yeah,
it, and I let.
I'm looking at your times. I had to pull up the times
Yeah.
to get an idea of which runs. I'm pretty sure it was 1 and 3 that you had the backups on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had the first backup was I overshot the hill a little bit too far and was almost fixing to go up the downhill portion of it. But I was going to try to swing wide, but by the time I let off the gas and hit the brakes, I'd already slid past my little exit there that I had planned to take. And then Friday we did courses 2 and 3. On course 2, I ended up bending a wheel, and it was letting the air out of it. So I went ahead and ran across the road to get swap another tire out so that we could run round 3 that afternoon. And then we ended up running round 3, and that's ended up hitting a rock ledge, and I bent both wheels on the driver's side that time, and the car was just kind of squirrely, pulling hard to the left, and that caused me to kind of overshoot one of my or undershoot one of my turns, and I had to back up just a little bit on that one. But man, that afternoon, everybody jumped in once again. Alson Tidwell jumped in and helped, get some of the wheels straightened out. Charles Carris, we had to use his Jeep to try to break the bead locks loose. And Wyatt Wilson, he was over there whack a mole in the tire trying to get it off the wheel. So everybody kind of jumped in to help get the car back ready for Saturday. And
So you can get on High Octane Films and you can see the video he posted of us trying to change a tire, literally with a crescent wrench, a pry bar,
right,
a 2-pound hammer, a combination wrench, a bunch of feet, tires.
right, yeah.
Oh, we're
But
getting drugged through the mud on that one.
oh yeah, is I'm sure Charles made us look like a bunch of monkeys with
Well, I don't think Charles did that. I think that was probably us.
that was probably just the behind the scenes version of what was
Mm-hmm.
really going on. But out of the whole weekend, probably my hill four for me in the cup class. Even though I was kind of reserved, I was worried about the tires. We just had went through three rims. Tires held up good. The rims just didn't hold up that well. But I was a little bit reserved. I didn't want to break any more wheels. We at that point we were all out of wheels. So I feel like that was probably my best run of the weekend was round four in Cup.
So the courses were fairly similar throughout the weekend. I mean, for Cup, there was some variation, but your times did get progressively faster as the course went. So your first run was a 96, second run was an 83. Now your next run was a 93, but that was with a backup. You take that backup out, I think that jumps you down below that 83. And then, because you lost a lot of momentum,
Right.
because that was a point and shoot place and you had to back up. So I think you lost a lot of time right there. And then your fourth run was a 78. So it kept getting faster as the weekend went.
Right.
So I'm kind of looking at the times now. Like
But
you weren't far off on that run. You were right there with everybody.
yeah, and I feel as things progress, like I feel like I'm getting a little bit more and more comfortable inside the car. We are trying to get at some clutching issues straightened out, but I feel like once we get the car back, we get some good seat time in it. You'll probably see us start being more towards that 78.
Well, I like that it's just with seat time and with more races, it's getting faster. It's getting more comfortable with the car. And me and you talked about this the other day. I think for the stock class, whatever we do, I think we're going to have to long travel it, because I think going from the 72 car down to the 64 car, there's so much difference in between the two now. I think having to jump back and forth, I think overall it hurts both speeds
Right.
in both classes. But I think if it was whatever we got in the stock class, I think if it was a 72, it wouldn't be such a such a big deal.
Right. Yeah, it's like you go from one car being super wide to the narrow car, it feels really unstable, and then you jump back out of the unstable car right back into the wide car. You still have a little bit of apprehension there, like, okay, well, this thing, it even though it's wider, it may not be as stable as I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I think us running stock next year, whatever we decide on, I feel like it'll be a wide car.
Yeah, I think that'll be better overall for both classes or whatever. And of course, we're probably not points racers, but when we do run, I think it will just help with the whole continuity
Well,
of
yeah,
the
and
race
like
program.
you said, like even though we may not be points racing, it's still one of those things. And everybody else is kind of like this too. It's like if I'm not going to race every race, I do want to be competitive when I do show
Yeah.
up to a race.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm sitting here looking through time, and I was getting distracted. So I mean, overall, out of 8 runs, 7 finishes, um, nothing. I mean, other than an axle and a few wheels, nothing crazy. Buggy looks good. I mean, we've not even washed it yet. It's in really good shape, and it's really clean, which is weird for this season. Whatever. Usually, you bring these things home and they're disgusting, covered in mud, and This one's pretty tame this weekend for what it was. So ready to get that thing turned around. We are doing a little clutching. Nathaniel Bell's been down at the shop helping us with that. It seems like that buggy, it goes from 0 to 1,000 in the blink of an eye, and we're trying to build a little, tame it down just a little bit. So maybe it's a little easier to drive, so we don't have those backups.
Yeah. Well, like you and I discussed, it's almost like a drag car.
Yeah,
Like you jump in a drag car and you take off and it feels good, but you've got to stay in it to keep that momentum up. If you ever come out of it and then get back in it, it's like it's just squirrely.
yeah. But yeah, overall, good weekend. We'll get that thing straightened out, and we'll have it at the Battle of the Bouncers in 3 weeks.
Yep, November 2nd.
The season's over, but the racing ain't done.
That's right.
So we got a few more tricks up our sleeve this year. So next thing I want to talk about is the event as a whole. I thought ran really smooth. Not a whole lot of hiccups. We were done pretty fast every day. Wasn't a bunch of recovery. Wildcat it's a very finishable course in all classes. It can be very fast, but it is also very rough.
Right.
Like it's really good to race on, really. I mean, we go some places and it's just a straight up thrash.
Right.
And here, not really any different. I mean, you're thrashing on it. Even the flat ground stuff is rough, but you can get some speed up. So cool place to race, but we always see really big crowds at Wildcat. It is always one of our best 2 events of the year. But damn, where were the people last weekend?
Right. I've heard people talking about how they were anticipating X amount of people there, and they thought maybe 2,500 showed up.
I would be surprised if the number was. I'd be surprised if it was that much.
Right.
Um,
I
we
do like. Go ahead, my bad.
no, we were expecting. I say we. I was expecting 7,500 plus, which
Yeah.
about 7,500 is the biggest crowd they've had there. 74, 7,500, and I was expecting that at least. And we've been hyping this up. Wildcat's been hyping it up, and there just wasn't anybody there. And I was just, did we hype it up too much? Did we scare away everybody because everybody thought it was going to be so overcrowded they didn't want to come?
Right.
This was the perfect weekend to come.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You park anywhere you want. No lines at the food vendors. Damn sure wasn't no lines at the Rock Life booth. It was the perfect weekend, and I don't know I don't know if there was one thing or a ton of things that contributed to a low turnout. But I really don't hope, or I hope this doesn't affect our finals going forward.
Right. I don't feel that it will. I feel like that was a perfect place to host finals. We had a good banquet area. The parking was great. The vendor area is
Oh,
probably
they spent
twice
some
the
money.
size. Yeah, twice the size of what it used to be, and there were probably twice as many vendors there. So I mean, it was the perfect weekend that people missed out on.
It was. And listen, if you guys are listening to this, and I know most people that listen to it were probably there, but on the off count that some of you guys weren't there, they cut new spectator area. They cut benches in the hill so you can get right up next to the race course, get a perfect bird's eye view of the whole course, closer, more access than you've ever gotten there. And those new areas were not full.
Right.
were not being utilized like they could have been. Um, Parking, like Dan said, the parking area, vendor area, was one step away from a good chip and seal blacktop. I mean, it was packed,
Yeah.
smooth. Wouldn't have cared a bit. I mean, if it'd been any more smooth, I could have rolled roller skates through there,
Yeah, for sure.
like for real. They spent a ton of money getting ready for this event. I hate that the turnout didn't come, and like I said, I hope it doesn't deter them from having us back. Um, we'll see what the schedule is when it comes out. Usually at PRI, so we'll see what the schedule is when that happens. But hopefully, we're back either Wildcat, Windrock somewhere for finals in 25. But man, I really hate it. I talked to a couple other vendors that were there, and they were all kind of a little disappointed in the turnout, as I think everybody was.
Right.
But we did have a good field of racers. What, 18 or so in bouncer class?
Yeah.
In the teens for Cup. Stock was a little low for finals, and UTV Bounty was a little low in entries for finals, but that can be hit or miss. We do have there is a rule in place that you have to have 200. You're supposed to have 260 points going into finals to be able to race finals. So that did keep some people out. I do think that rule is going away.
Yeah. I agree with you. I feel like that rule was kind of brought in to help with the time constraints that we were having to deal with when Speed Sport was involved for Mid America. So I think now that we're kind of more relaxed, I feel like that that will kind of go away.
Yeah, I do think there will be some requirement next year to run finals. I don't think anybody still can just show up and race.
Right.
But instead of a points requirement, I think, from what I understand, there is going to be a minimum amount of races. I don't know how to word what I'm saying. You'll have to have raced in at least 2 or 3 events during the season to be eligible to run finals. You can't just show up and finals be your first event. But
Well,
there's a bunch of
I
people that have done that.
right, right. But I heard it's either that or you have to send pictures of your belly button or your feet.
Ooh, feet picks.
So who knows? I think our best bet is just to try to run 3 or 4 races and see if we'll get an invite to finals.
I'd say we should get that sponsor exemption. Um, but yeah, that's going away. Did have a good crowd. I tell you who we were missing. Our old buddy Busted Knuckle.
Man, that was terrible.
If you guys haven't seen, haven't heard, and if, like I said, if you're listening to us, you probably already know, or at the very least, you know who Busted Knuckle is. Go to their Facebook page and just check out the happenings from last week. They were headed to finals, and for the second time in the last handful of years, totaled a motorhome within sight of Busted Knuckle World Headquarters.
Yeah.
And this one, I don't know how they're walking. None of them. Just by the pictures.
Yeah. Super, super lucky.
Dude, they're living right down there in Alabama because there is no reason for them to be above ground today. None of them. It was
Mm.
bad. I
Yeah.
mean, it totaled the motorhome, the trailer, the race buggy. The only thing salvageable was, I think they said, the actual Busted Knuckle rock bouncer.
Mm.
Said it wasn't hurt. Everything else is junk.
Man, it just makes you sick just to look at those pictures.
Yeah, it makes you think you're looking at a freaking almost a freaking coroner's report.
Yeah.
It really does, because that I've seen some motorhome wrecks before, And, because we used to travel to NASCAR races all over, and there'd be hundreds of campers, and one of them things wreck, they disintegrate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't crinkle up, they explode.
Right.
And yeah, that's all I can say is yeah. Go look at the pictures; they're on the internet, and you'll completely understand. But glad my buddy's okay. Um, Matt's always been super nice to us, super good to us. Anything I've ever asked him for, he is an open book of knowledge. And if we ever need any film of any of your runs, he's more than grateful to let us use that. So, and they're just good people. So glad they're okay. Hopefully, we'll get to see them for the Battle of the Bouncers in a few weeks. So I kind of want to talk about something else happening at finals, and I'll just say it like it is. Timmy was on cruise control. Like cruise control. Like could have ran it in my Toyota buggy, cruise control.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking the UTV Cup, he came in fifth.
You and him tied. I think you and him tied for 10th, actually, if you want to know the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, you had the same amount of points. He got you on combined times.
Mm.
But like one or two runs, it looked like he was hauling, trying to have pretty decent runs. But his last two runs were Bub Meadows made a post, that he took a victory lap, and yeah. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Like I'm not mad at him. He played the game. And
Right. Yeah.
guess what? He won. So, that's the game. And it's not the first time we've seen the game played that way. But he played the game. He won, taking nothing away. Other than if you're a Los Angeles Lakers fan and you fly out to LA to watch LeBron play basketball. If LeBron gives a quarter of his effort throughout the entire game or only plays for 3 minutes a game, doesn't really act like he's in it, he's not really playing, you're going to be pissed off. You're going to want your money back. Like, I come all the way across the country to watch you play ball, and you're out here half-assing it. So I don't like that aspect of it. I don't like that that's an option.
Mm-hmm.
And I know several other people were not too excited with our sport's biggest star not doing the old Deadpool, giving it the maximum effort. Like I said, he's playing the game. He won the game, so he played it right. I'm not taking that away from him. But I know there's a lot of unhappy people with the way that turned out.
Right.
Now, the one thing, before we left the banquet, there was people talking about rules changes, points changes. How do we revamp the system? How do we do that? How do we do this? Whoa, people. Whoa. Slow down. I don't think we need to get too excited here because y'all let Timmy get a 150-point lead or whatever he had going into finals. That's not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the comment was made, how do we make finals more important? Well, there's 200 points there. That's pretty important.
Right.
I mean, what else do you want to do? How else, if there is a better point scoring system, what is it? I don't know how to do it to make it more fair. I don't think it's don't think it's unfair.
Right.
It did kind of stink as a fan. Even when he was running, I was like, what the crap is this? What the crap is even this? Like, he's literally, it looked like, I mean, he even got to the top of the hill and bellied out. Only person the whole day. Got to the top of the hill and bellied out. It's because he was going so slow, taking his time. Didn't want to break. All he had to do was finish. Played it smart. What is there something we can do to make finals more important? I mean, it's already worth, like I said, 200 points. Do we make it worth 400 points? Is it a double points event with double races?
Right.
Well, what happens when somebody DNFs on hill 1? Timmy gets the fastest time, and he still coasts to the finish.
Right.
What do we do then?
Yeah, and then like all of a sudden now he's up
Yeah.
400 points.
Now he's up 400 points. Now what do we do?
And really doesn't even have to run the last two rounds if you don't want to.
No, next year he'll be running his last runs in reverse, waving at y'all as he's backing up the hill. Like, be careful what you ask for, because we could get ourselves in a worse situation.
Right.
The dude is, listen, he's the best there is. I'll tell you this. I always go back to what I know, because I like to speak about things that I know about. Everybody knows I'm a big NASCAR guy, right? Said it. Been talked about on here a lot. 2003, Matt Kenseth goes into the final race of the NASCAR season. He's already won the championship. He won it the race before. Had to go to the last race because that's what you do. He could have started his car, took the green flag, pulled it in pit road, drank a beer, and watched y'all run. Still won the championship. NASCAR overreacts. And the next year, we have the NASCAR playoffs, which everybody hates. We're 20 years into this deal. Everybody still hates it. So be careful what you ask for. You may shoot yourself in the foot here. I think we leave everything as it is. If we don't want Timmy to coast on the last hills, then we just need to keep up with him. I think that's the fairest thing.
Right.
I mean, can't hate a guy for working his ass off all year, building the lead. You know, I don't know. That's my little rant for the season, or for the episode. Speaking of Timmy, though, 100 shots gone, sold. Do we even see him back next year?
I feel like he'll be back.
Well, the rumor, allegedly, there's a new buggy being built. Hearing that it's in no hurry to be finished. Hearing, midsummer next year before it's done. Kind of like 100 shot. 100 shot was brought out finals last year. Hearing that may be the case again. So we don't even know if Timmy's going to be back next year. And if he's not, then, if you guys show up to finals and you got a 100-point advantage, you better not be coasting. You better not be. You better give it y'all, because I heard enough of it Saturday and Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. I'm gonna mess around and get myself in trouble today. Anywho, is there any other big news before we get into our out the top and on the hook awards? Anything else you want to talk about?
I can't think of any like big news.
Oh, Taz is for sale. The Taz Rock Bouncer. Guys,
I did see that.
If any of y'all got $60,000 in your pocket,
that's probably the best buy right now.
That is a steal, I think. That buggy is a little older buggy. But if you want to get into a race ready machine that is competitive, I mean that's it. That buggy can win,
Right.
and I think it can win right now. So, um,
If
if y'all are
if
looking to get into
everybody
rock, if anybody wants to buy us anything for Christmas,
well, if everybody listening right now will go ahead and just do that Hill Killer subscription
oh yeah,
and just go ahead and guarantee that for 36 months.
listen
I
guys,
need
we'll wrap that thing, put all your names on it.
yes, I think that would be the coolest car ever. Just it'd be like the signature series car, and then everybody that donates $500 or more gets to sign their name to it, 6 inches tall, wherever you want to put it.
We'll powder coat that thing white, black Sharpies. Y'all have at it.
Yep.
Give a damn. Our luck, we buy it in the damn end, we throw a rod out the engine the next day.
Yeah. And then we would humbly come to our listeners again for an engine.
Yes. Hey guys, you know that rock bouncer you just bought? We need a loan. Oh God. I hope somebody gets up with that, gets that buggy because it has been around for a while, and I do like it. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite machines.
I've always said like if I got a big bouncer, I'd have to give up the UTV stuff. It's just way too much to commit to. But that one is definitely uh, it's probably a steal right now for somebody.
Okay, that reminds me. This is something I'm going to bring up here. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. I told you I'm feeling honored tonight. Is the I feel like, and I'm not in this loop. I'm not in the bouncer loop. Like I know a lot of the guys, but I'm not like best buddies with them. Don't hang out with them very much just because of separation. You know, I'm always over at the vending
Right.
trailer and they're in the campers and whatnot. So I don't get all the lowdown on the bouncers, but I try and pay attention. I feel like there's a real reject fab, TC built feud either happening or brewing. And maybe it's been happening. But I have that vibe, especially at the awards banquet the other night. I don't know. I feel like and maybe it's been there and I've just not paid that much attention to it.
Right.
But I feel like it's coming. If it's not already there, I feel like it's coming or getting bigger. But I mean, Reject won the day. TC Built got the 2 top spots on the podium. I guess if you can't beat them, I guess you just talk shit. I don't know.
I don't know. You know where I stand on the deal. So
I do. Oh,
uh,
I'll change subject before I get you in trouble. This is something, guys. If you've got a race buggy, I'm going to start suggesting that this is bad that we have to put out this PSA. Get a GoPro or a 360. Put it in your buggy. Put an extended battery in it, or plug that thing up where it'll run the whole time. And when you get to the starting line or to the pit areas from now on, turn it on and leave it on all day. So I'll tell. There was a rock bouncer that this weekend at Wildcat, it appears to have been messed with by someone. And if what we're hearing is true, that's not cool. Like someone come in and was changing suspension settings, pulling plug wires, things like that. That's not cool. This is not the first time at that park that's happened.
Right.
Um, if you want to tell your story,
Yeah, I feel well, and two, like I I just thought it may have been me, like it something in my mind, and then I started talking to some other racers, and my story seemed to line up with a few other racers, and I didn't know about this at the time, and I'm not going to call names, but one of the big bouncers, this goes back years ago at AOP. One of the big bounce, he's a big bouncer driver and UTV driver. Um, he started out big bouncers, and he could have swore somebody was like messing with his buggy when they would get to the vents. It'd sit outside overnight, or it would sit in the pits, and just stuff would happen to it that there's no explanation for other than somebody sabotaging it. And I was like, man, no way somebody would want to do that. A couple of years go by, another driver, same thing. He'd even talked to, or they even put GoPros on another bouncer facing his bouncer while it was in the pits, just because stuff was happening that's just unexplainable. And like plug wires coming off, and you put a boot on a plug, that thing takes a little bit of effort to come off. They just don't pop off. But my story is, uh, I would be okay with that. But what pisses me off is my story has to do with my safety equipment. It doesn't have anything to do with my razor. And really didn't notice it till I got home. We were washing the buggy, and the 5/8 bolts that are holding my harnesses in have nylon inserts in the bolts and in the nuts, so they just don't vibrate loose. One of them was off past the nylon, loose past the nylon, and the other was so loose that when we hit it with a pressure washer, it fell. So somebody had loosened my harness straps.
yeah, and I've not,
Uh,
that's what all these Polaris are built out of is a nylon lock nut,
right,
and I have yet. I mean, I'm not going to say it couldn't happen, but I have yet to see one of those just come off that
right,
wasn't completely worn out.
right.
Now, if you
Well,
get
and
one, we'll call it a fluke.
right, but two,
No,
just somebody was fucking with it, and I have a really good suspicion on who it was. So I'm not calling names. I'm not trying to stir up shit. Um, and that's one thing about, I always kind of joke off camera about karmic debt.
mm,
Karma will get them one day, and um, I'm lucky to have seen, and it's still like until I feel like that's made right. The people that I know screw me over, and they don't think that I know that they screw me over. Man, I just love watching karma come and bite them. Like it just every little snippet, I'm like, yep, probably wouldn't happen if you
yeah,
evened out the scales.
yeah,
So, um, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But
yeah,
it's just one of those things. Like if I see it being done and I know that your hands aren't supposed to be on somebody's buggy, I'm gonna call you out, and it's up to them whether they decide whether you leave the park or not.
yeah. It's just, man, it's if it's a competitor messing with another competitor's rig, just don't come to the race. Just stay home.
Well, and
If
why?
that's how you think you got to win, stay home. And in your
Well, that's
case, if it's safety equipment, why?
right. Well, and like that's not how you want to win. Like it's
No.
everybody knows that I'm not afraid to flip over, and I like to show out for the fans. And, if I know I've got a shitty run going and can't make it, and if I want to play on a hill or, we can't climb a hill, we're going to do the best we can, even if we've got to turn over. That's not out of the question. But screwing with somebody's safety gear, knowing that they're that guy that likes to put on a show, I mean, what good's that going to do for you?
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And man, that's like the Bacons taught me probably the most valuable thing years and years ago. We were at Hawk Pride, and it was for one of Clyde's races, and Timmy broke something. And Keith pulled up with the welder ready to go. One of the Bacons jumped over there and started welding for Timmy. And the old man, everybody's like, why in the world are y'all helping him get ready? And his like, we don't want to beat him like this. We want to beat him when he's at his best. And if you just let that sink in, and if everybody had that mindset, like anybody can fuck up and win, get on the podium sooner or later, but you're not doing something until you beat the best guy at his best.
Yeah, there was some of that I think going on this past weekend. I was hearing grumblings of people saying, I hope so and so breaks." Like we have raced, right?
Right.
We've had points leads. We've been in championship hunts. Never once have I said, I hope somebody breaks. If
Right,
somebody
no.
has a bad run or somebody does break, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Right.
But I also don't wish that upon anybody because I don't want that to happen to us.
Right.
And it comes back to bite you, dude. It just
It
does.
does. It does.
But yeah, anywho, don't mess with people's shit. You know who you are. All right, let's get into our Out the Top and On the Hook awards for our final event, or final points event for 2024. I got 2 nominations for our Out the Top award. And then if you want to add to it, and we'll talk about it. I think, man, for our Out the Top award for this event, Nrra drove like no other to try and jump Cooper and get into that 3rd place for the season. He done really well, like super good. And my other nomination would be Coy in the stock class, simply because of the triple, quadruple, trifecta deal he had going on. He drew number 3, finished 3rd in every run. Did he get 3rd for the day?
I think he got third for the day.
3rd for the day. I mean,
that's just wild.
That's a lot of threes.
Yeah.
So those are my 2. Have you got anybody you want to toss in?
No,
there?
man, I'm good with either one of them because, man, both of them deserve it. And like I said, I know Nick has been working hard for this.
Rookie of the
he's
year.
Been busting his tail for it. Yeah, he did get rookie of the year. Definitely deserves that. Coy, man, Coy's hard to beat. Stock class. I mean, he lets everybody know he's there.
He was 1 DNF away from possibly 2nd place in points. He had one goofy DNF too. It was a little nothing. So yeah. All right, those are our Out the Top award winners for the finals from Wildcat Nrra and Coy Chapel. I'll never be able to say his name right again. On the Hook. Listen, I've got 3 nominees for this one. We're going to start with. I'm going to go to the end of the list and then come back to the front. So my 3 nominees are the first one's Casey Howe. Just because you, Casey, were 1 tree away from having a good championship battle. Knowed you had to finish the hill. I mean, trailing in points by about 14, 15 points going into the last hill, and hit a tree and break. Just for that, I'm nominating you for On the Hook and a broken transmission too. So that's twice. Ben Driscoll, one of the most epic crashes coming off. I think that would have been hill 3.
Yeah, and that looked like it hurt. Oh,
Yeah. So Ben Driscoll is my second nomination. And my winner, in my eyes, this week, and I'm throwing you all under the bus, is the Team Rock Life stock drivers. Dan, that includes you.
hey, what? In my defense, I finished that hill.
You did finish it. Dan turns over in stock. Braden Upchurch turns over in stock. And Brantley finally got that cherry popped. He turned over in stock. All three of my boys on their lids in the stock class. So
Can't have nothing.
I'm not singling them out. I'm just going to lump them all together. And you got anybody you want to add to this?
Nah, man, I'm just
All right. Team Rock Life stock drivers, Ben Driscoll, and Casey Howe. You all suck this weekend. No, for real. Though you did kind of suck. All right. That's enough rambling for today. Let's get into you ready to get into the rundown?
Oh, yeah.
For the last race. Guys, we didn't do points because it doesn't matter anymore. So we've got your finishing positions for the event and the top 3 for the season in each of our 6 classes. I'm going to get started. UTV Youth, Ava Garner was the winner of the UTV Youth class. Ramsey Trainer in second place. Clara Hoback in third for the season. Clara Hoback gets the championship. Ramsey Trainer in second, and Ava Garner rounds out the top 3.
For the VIN class, we've got for the event Charles Carris in first place, Kenneth Cozine in second, and Wild Wyatt Wilson in the Blue Rock Life Super Grip Jeep coming in third. For the season, we have Charles Carris in first place, Justin Hoback in second place, and rounding out third place, we've got Don Curtis.
I'm going to add Wyatt to that list of On the Hook people too. Go back and look at that video.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
For sure.
Rock Life Offroad UTV stock class. Man, Cody Kaysen has been on a tear the second half of the season. He took the win. Brandon Davis in second place, and Coy got third for the season. Cody Kaysen was your champion. Brandon Davis in second, and Dylan Dowler in third place.
For the UTV Bounty for the event, we've got first place Nathaniel Bell, second place Casey Howell, third place Josh Krapinski. Overall for the season, first place didn't change. Nathaniel Bell for first, Casey Howell for second, and Josh Krapinski for third.
UTV Cup, very competitive this past weekend and throughout the season. Clay Kaysen back on top with the win at Wildcat, with Nathan King subbing in for Matt Myrick in second. And as he let us know at the banquet, this is DC Thompson's first podium of the year in third place for the season. Timmy Cameron is your winner, Clay Kaysen in second, and Dylan Dowler on the podium for the second different class in 2024.
And for the bouncer, for the overall event, first place we had Wade Good, second Nick Wright, third Cooper Bentley. And for your bouncer champion, first place we had Timmy Cameron, second place is Daniel Heckley, and third place is Nick Wright.
It was a good weekend, a great year. And we're not done, though. Battle of the Bouncers, November 2nd. Don't forget to check that out at Windrock Park. We will be there. There will be a pit party November the 1st at the pavilion in the event area. We're going to have door prizes, live music, some buggies on display, meet and greet, mingle with the drivers. It's going to be a cool time. And then that Saturday, we're going to get kicked off. No live feed. So if you want to check this event out, you'll have to be at Windrock Park. So come check that out November 2nd. Also, next week, today was our part one of the end of the season episodes, like the end of the point season episodes. Next week, we're going to come back. The National Rock Racing Association at one point used to do a lot of, like when we had our banquet, you had your podium awards, and then they gave out a lot of awards for, like, Rookie of the Year, which they did an overall Rookie of the Year this year, but they used to do maybe one for UTVs and one for bouncers. They used to do things like Run of the Year, different stuff like that. Several different. It seemed like you had 20 or 30 different awards for different things. So Next week on Out the Top, it's our award show. We're coming up with all kinds of cool awards to give out to these drivers for what they've done this year. When I say cool awards, I don't mean they're actually getting trophies. We're just talking about it. They can dream about it. They can make their own trophy if they would like. But we're going to give them some honorary fake awards. So check that out next week on Out the Top. Dan, you got anything else before we go?
Not at all.
Guys, I appreciate it. Make sure to rate, review, follow, subscribe, get that membership. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before the end of the year. We're at 82, 83, 8,400, something like that. We're not that far off. So if you're watching this, listening to this, and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Please share the channel. Really enjoy doing this, and the only way we get to keep doing it is if we get to keep growing. If we stop growing, we're stopping. We're done with the show. And as long as we're growing, we're going to keep pumping them out. So hit those subscribe buttons, and don't do like me and drink coffee at 10 o'clock at night because you talk like this. So see y'all next week.
Tell your mom and them about us.
Mom and them, we out.